reflective of what came out of your demon-infested
Who the hell do you think you are?
Give it up, I'm a nigga. You do want to be employed, don't you? You know what I see? I see your mother. I see two spoiled, ungrateful little rich bitches. That's what I see. I enjoy
run it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But anyway, man, let's go ahead and get into this thing. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who are you? It's Beer Drink, DVP, aka Dear Vince Podcast, episode 6. That was a long pause, but fuck it, it's staying, man. I'm like I told you, I've funneled around 3 beers, but wait, nigga, episode 6, and I'm here with George Kennebrew. What's up, man?
Yes, once again, the wrestling mastermind, more finer than wine, and I'm always down to have a good time, even at 12:56 at night.
Shit.
Of course, with my partner in crime.
It's Beer Drink.
Beer Drink Shawty.
You know?
A.K.A. AG, best known as Aaron Gordon.
A.K.A. Mr. Who Are You?
A.K.A. Mr. Who in the hell are you? And you know what?
What's up?
Speaking of which, speaking of talking about who's who and all of that, I got to tell you what, man.
Mm-hmm.
Monday Night Raw.
Doing the thing.
Hold on. Wait. I'm so speechless. I'm so speechless right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Monday Night Raw kind of had me posing that same question too. I was like, well, wait a minute. What is this? Like, you know, we're having 2 gigantic mammoth men destroying, you know, the top of the Raw set or whatnot, and we've got like this CNN news type of camera shot going on.
Yeah.
You know, after you know it's all over with, and you know everything's looking so legit.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
I mean,
I'm just like, who could possibly be behind all of this? And then I thought about it, AG.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about there was, you know, a little bombshell that was dropped earlier this week that a certain extremely creative mind,
a little mix,
one of the more extremely creative minds in the wrestling business, has somehow found himself, I'm not going to say in complete control, but having some sort of control over Monday Night Raw. But it just didn't stop there.
Yeah.
It only got better than that, because
it did.
We also found out another controversial creative mind got somewhat control over SmackDown.
And I'm pretty sure. Y'all know exactly what you're saying right here.
And in case all of you, you know, jock snippers and Nimrods don't know who I'm talking about, you know I got to address them, AG, because, you know, they're constantly on our ass.
And you got to call them by name. Exactly.
Yeah, trying to hound us and all this other stuff. So for all you jock snippers and Nimrods, for those of you...
Welcome to the danger zone.
Exactly. So if you would put down your bowl of Captain Crunch for a second and get close to your computer speakers, the people that I'm referring to here are none other than Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff.
Yep, great.
The news dropped earlier this week that they are now officially appointed as executive producers, a.k.a. creative directors.
Great shit.
Of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live.
And who better? Now, who better? Go ahead. My bad.
Right. I was gonna say now, AG, as you're finding out this news earlier this week, I just gotta know, like what was your reaction? Were you feeling some type of way when you heard the names Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff mentioned as the 2 men that are going to be somewhat overseeing the creative direction of Raw and SmackDown? I know you had to feel some type of way.
Yeah, I felt some type of way, but if I would just amalgamate this syncopation in one word, I'm not even going to do it in one word. You know what I'm saying? Who else better? Who else better than the competing WCW head of creative, and what was he, the commissioner?
ECW.
Yeah, and as well as ECW. No, I'm talking about Eric Bischoff for this.
Eric Bischoff was the president.
The president of WCW. In WCW's heyday, pretty much WCW is the only wrestling company to really give the WWE / WWF a run for their money, and it was a lot because of Eric Bischoff. And a lot of people don't agree with a lot of creative ideas and things that came to fruition in WCW. But Eric Bischoff, in his own right, is a wrestling genius as far as mindset. But then I'm going to switch over to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman that had probably 90% grasp and touch of the ECW brand, so much that it being probably, I'm thinking, third or fourth, you know what I'm saying, in the world at its time, at its peak, that WWE would not only fuck with them, but also talent hunt over there at ECW. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even the fact after WWE buying everything would even relaunch ECW. Like, this right here is total proof that the WWE is very they're very desperate right now.
Yeah,
who would have thought? Desperate as fuck. Who would have thought that Eric Bischoff would ever have a job again in the WWE? I was surprised enough that he was even part of that table for three a while back. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, it was a table for three with him. It may have been, I'm not sure who it was.
Bruce Pritchard. It was him, Bruce Pritchard,
Bruce Pritchard.
And I forgot who the other guy was, but yeah. I was very surprised to see Bischoff on a WWE Network type of program. Yeah. But the interesting thing about this, it's funny you mentioned the criticism about Bischoff having another backstage role in wrestling again. I've been hearing, just from listening, to some other things and reading up on stuff on other sites, is that the word, the feeling amongst, other, I guess if we want to call them experienced creative people in WWE, is that Eric Bischoff has not been as in tuned with the product or just professional wrestling in general, and that leaves some,
skepticism,
worry that he may not be knowing what he's doing, or that he might possibly stumble,
or he may be, he's gonna have to catch up a lot. Like, he's gonna have to really brush up on that, on what used to come like so fucking easy to him. Yeah, but the one good thing about that though is Paul Lee has never fallen off. So you know what I'm saying?
No.
Where Bischoff could maybe lack, I'm sure Paul Lee will you know what I'm saying, fill that void. And the one good thing about, or not one good thing, but the one thing that I did notice, and I'm pretty sure that you noticed too, is on this episode of Raw, you completely saw Paul's influence in the first show back. In the first show back, you saw the influence, because it was way more edgy. Oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying, Corey Graves cursing as a commentator. The I forget who it was, but I forget, it was a match between, I'm not gonna hold my tongue, I can't stand this bitch, fucking Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, and then the ending of that match, to where it was very scandalous and very un-PG, the opposite of PG, as far as her, I forget who it was.
Very TV 14-ish of Maria Kanellis. And Mike Kanellis.
And I'm just like, wow. So as soon as Paul Heyman got that fucking that increase in pay, that title change, you saw a definite change in almost more attitude, if you would want to call it, more attitude that we saw in this past Raw, and I'm hoping that that's a thing that they're going to continue. But it's definitely going to be a thing that they continue, because, we have new We have new creative powers, and that's a good fucking thing. And I truthfully will salute Vince, you know what I'm saying, for allowing this to happen. Like, it kind of shows that they give somewhat fucks of the WWE universe, but it's all about that mighty dollar, because you already know what's coming up to compete, which is AEW.
Right. And it's funny, and it's very funny that you mentioned AEW or whatever, because
you knew that was coming.
Hold on to your seats, viewers. We are going to be recapping Fyter Fest. Okay?
Oh yeah, definitely.
We are going to cover that. So just hold on as tight as you possibly can. But before we get to that, it's funny that you bring that up about AEW, and we kind of equate that with these new acquisitions, if you want to call them that, of Bischoff and Heyman, being appointed in these backstage roles or what have you. I just gotta think, AG, that for some reason or another, the WWE management, we'll call them, you gotta know that whether they want to admit it or not, some of their people I know were, if not looking at the entire AEW Fyter Fest.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee you.
Oh no, yeah.
They at least tune in to Bleacher Report live.
Yeah, they did.
For at least maybe like the pre-show.
Yeah, they definitely did.
If not the whole entire main card or whatnot. And I gotta believe saw, from an in-ring presentation that these guys are on to something. Yeah. And we're up here fucking around, because we're getting all this money from all of these different
investors,
and all of these foreign countries, and all of this other stuff, and we're basically just playing musical chairs with our talent.
Yep.
Meanwhile, there's another organization out here that's actually putting on a great in-ring presentation
that's actually using their talent. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then another thing I'm gonna piggyback off of what you were going at is, it's funny, like, they definitely have eyes over there on the Bleacher Report app, or however they watch Fyter Fest, because they even brought out pretty much they's like, "Ew, you know what? I see a similarity in this tag team over there in the tag team that we have in NXT. Let's go ahead and give them some TV time on Raw." That's very weird. Being Private Party, and I don't even know the tag team from NXT, but they kind of remind, you know what I'm saying, the Black Urban.
Talking about the Street Profits.
Yeah, Street Profits, the hip hop wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, yeah, like, oh shit, yeah, AEW, man, I love. Oh, look at this, the hip hop wrestlers over there at AEW. Oh shit, that's right, we have hip hop wrestlers too. Let's put them on TV Monday. Fuck out of here, man.
Right.
But for everything, for everything that I will say, Vince, and I know you're listening, like, definitely a good job, but I mean, don't be so fucking easy. Like, it's so easy to see that it's like, it is what it is, man. But Fyter Fest, like you said, we're gonna get to that later.
But I guarantee you, I just wanted to say one more thing. I just wanted to elaborate on one more thing, about the Fyter Fest before we actually get into it. I was saying that, it's just really ironic, the timing of these acquisitions of Bischoff and Heyman happening just basically days after Fyter Fest happened. Because while AEW was putting this Fyter Fest card together, there was not even a thought, I bet, of having Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff, of all people, being appointed to these new creative roles of Raw and SmackDown. So as I was saying earlier, is that I know some WWE creative people and management like I said, even though they didn't watch the whole entire AEW show in its entirety, they were looking at bits and pieces.
They watched the whole fucking show, man. They watched the whole fucking show. Fuck that.
Okay, well, they probably did. They probably did. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and say they pretty much watched the whole entire show, and like I said, they saw the in-ring presentation. Right. They saw the in-ring presentation. They saw, you know, the fast-paced, you know, athletic nature of the talent in the ring, and they saw that, hey, this is, or I'm not going to say they saw it. I should say, you know, by looking at the type of action that AEW delivers, you would think that they would, you know, kind of come to their senses, and especially Vince McMahon. But, you know, Vince McMahon coming to his senses is just like telling a dog to count from 1 to 100. But that's another story. But anyway, you would think that besides Vince McMahon, you would think the people that are working up under him or close to him would look at that AEW Fyter Fest card and would look at the way that the action is displayed in the ring, and you think they go, oh, so this is what professional wrestling is in the 21st century. Like this is the presentation of professional wrestling in 2019. Not necessarily looking at it as, you know, oh, that's just that indie style or whatever. Because, like, frankly, as both of you and I know, they have a lot of superstars in WWE right now that come from the independents and and that can wrestle that same quote unquote independent style. Yeah. But my point in all of that is that being that AEW Fyter Fest was a really good show, WWE took notice and was like, all right, we're desperate as fuck. So we basically got to pull out our jokers now, and our jokers are pretty much Heyman and Bischoff. Yep. Now, I know people that might not be familiar with Bischoff and Heyman might look at this as like, okay,
just whatever.
Even though we know what they did for their respective companies back in the day or whatever, a lot of people might look at that and then be like, okay, well, wait a minute. Why couldn't they go out and get like some young, fresh, new, creative minds to further help, you know, build or to further, what's the word I'm looking for? Progress the creative nature in WWE, as opposed to, you know, always going back to the past and pulling and bringing back, you know, these two guys that have already had their day and time in the business, particularly creatively.
And I can tell you, I know why. I know why they went this route instead of that route, because for what it is they understand that, like, I'll put it this way, they probably watched the Fyter Fest, and they probably watched the other AEW pay-per-views, the other two, and actually saw that, and is of course surveying and you know what I'm saying, collecting data on the internet and comments and shit, and they actually see that wrestling fans actually want wrestling. And Paul Heyman as well as Eric Bischoff were somewhat working and being creative during the age of fucking wrestling. Right after the golden age of wrestling was, you know what I'm saying, like, why, you know what I'm saying, like, that's pretty much what it is. It's like, yo, you know what? Their recipe has always worked. So we need to go ahead and, truthfully, like I said, be desperate. Like, it's the WWE plus WCW plus ECW, in a way. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's kind of like the WWE and the talent that they have now. Now, also addition ECW's mind as well as WCW's mind to see if we can make sure that AEW doesn't fucking bully us in the near future.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's definitely a smart move, and it was almost the only move. But as far as ego and Vince, like, I'm very surprised. So I mean, it kind of shows how desperate that the WWE is, because like I said, I never thought that I would see Eric Bischoff named anything. You know what I'm saying? Backstage for WWE. So it's real out here. It's real out here in these wrestling streets.
You're right. No, you're damn right
it's
about
real
that.
Out there.
And another thing that I'm going to say about this Eric Bischoff thing in particular, because, you know, the one advantage that Heyman has over Bischoff is that at least with Heyman, at least he's been, you know, with the company for over like a few years recently. Of course, you know, working with Brock Lesnar and stuff. But quiet as kept to a lot of wrestling fans, Paul Heyman has actually been working with certain talent exclusively on their promos.
Like Aleister Black.
So Heyman, right. So Heyman has, to kind of be honest, Heyman was already in a de facto creative role anyway, being that, you know, he was already helping out certain superstars. The only difference this go around is that Vince just decided to make it official. But you know, it was
out there.
Right. But it was unofficial before, when he was just voluntarily just helping other talent, or certain talent, I should say, with their promos and, you know, just certain things that they were doing in the ring. But going back to Bischoff, the thing that I was going to say is that I just hope that as Bischoff settles into this new role, if you want to call it, with SmackDown, I just really hope he becomes aware of, you know, professional wrestling in 2019, and I hope he's aware and adapts to the talent, the younger talent, more importantly, that WWE has, and not try to turn them into the WCW talent of the late 90s. I really hope, like, however he books them, or whenever he's coming up with angles or storylines from them or for them, I hope that it's pertinent to 2019 as opposed to 1997 through 1999.
But see, that's the one thing that I will say. I think that Eric Bischoff, just for the fact that he hasn't been as active backstage and coming up with these ideas, that he will be more standoffish, and I think that he will give the actual wrestlers more say. You know what I'm saying? In angles and like what they want to do. Like almost like, okay, Bray Wyatt pretty much, they're damn near saved Raw. He may even look at that as a thing to where it's like, you know, I'm going to just let the wrestlers cook more. But as far as him and his input on the SmackDown show, I kind of would rather him take a WCW approach to it. Like, be a little bit more shock value, but give us more matches during the fucking show. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us another thing. I think you said it last week. Like, more promos before the fucking match. You know what I'm saying? Like, before they go out, like, throw a promo here and there. And, yeah, like, I think that it's pretty much the best scenario. It's the best scenario for WWE and having both of those guys as a you know what I'm saying, as creative leaders in backstage. But we were talking about what we said. Oh no, earlier you said something about wrestlers that are currently in the WWE, have wrestled in the indies. You want to talk anything about Will Ospreay and Seth Rollins back and forth on Twitter?
Oh yeah, man. This, let me tell you something. Just right out of the gate, okay. Seth Rollins.
And my bad for all this crumbling, man. I'm addicted to these Haribo sour gold bears, gummy bears, man. Holy fuck!
Oh
man,
so listen. This is the Dear Vince motherfucking podcast. Okay, we do what the fuck we want.
Yeah, I got.
This is our damn show, and can't nobody tell us shit. So if you want to eat some gummy bears on the fucking show, eat some damn gummy bears.
Sour gummy bears too. You know
sour gummy bears. And for those of you that don't like it, piss off or go ahead and watch something else. But anyway, going into what you were saying about this whole Will Ospreay, Seth Rollins thing, let me just go ahead and say right off the bat, Seth Rollins was a complete asshole for this, okay?
Fucking asshole.
And I was telling you before we even went on air here that, you know, my respect level for Seth Rollins decreased when I was, you know, reading some of these things that he was saying to Will Ospreay. And my thing is this. It's like, okay,
do that bit.
First off, I don't mind you standing up for your organization. And hell, I don't even mind you saying, you know, your organization has the best wrestling on the planet, even though that's a bunch of horse shit. But anyway, as a you know, a proud member of the WWE roster, okay, you ride for your team. You know, you ride for your people. That's what you're supposed to do. I honor and respect that tenfold. But what I do not respect is the fact of you trying to demean somebody else in terms of trying to make it seem like, you know, as far as like the financial aspect of it goes, that you're, you know, more, or try to make yourself more important than they are.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, okay, hold up though, Seth. You're sitting up here pulling, you know, this card of, you know, bank accounts and all that other shit. But the last time that I checked, whenever motherfuckers went to Japan, motherfuckers was getting paid over there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And shit, he wrestled in Japan. What the fuck is he? That's what I'm saying.
That's
it's
what
just
I'm
weird.
saying. So I'm just like, why in the hell are you sitting up here, you know, pulling this aristocrat shit, talking about some let's compare bank accounts or whatever? I'm like, are you that fucking stupid? I'm like, has Becky Lynch like given you all this pussy all of a sudden like made your mind just go completely blank? Because apparently it has.
Strap on fucked them to death.
Yeah, I'm just like,
you know,
you got all this pussy in your mouth, and it's kind of, you know, making you speak gibberish and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
but unless I don't know if you really keep up with New Japan Pro Wrestling. You probably don't anyway, Seth. But if you did, and if you really knew about New Japan Pro Wrestling, you would know those dudes make bank.
Yeah, they
over
do.
there.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Yep. Like
they get, and they're more respected by the fans as well as the fucking company than you guys are at WWE. But okay.
Exactly, and then it's like, okay, you're saying let's compare bank accounts, like Will Ospreay is broke. I'm like,
yeah. That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Dog.
That's how it came across. It was almost like he was like, "Will, shut the fuck up and go sit in the corner and color your coloring book or some shit like that."
Right,
you know
right.
He was like talking down to him, hella crazy.
I'm just like, you act like this dude Will Ospreay is broke. I'm like, dog. Newsflash. Not only does Will Ospreay wrestle in New Japan, but he's also getting bookings like in his home country of England. Yeah. He's probably getting bookings in other indie wrestling promotions here in the United States.
Yeah, shit.
Not to mention, I don't even know if you knew this, AG, but not to mention, Will Ospreay has got his own motherfucking wrestling organization.
Oh, yeah, I heard
something that you don't have. So
something that the WWE talent aren't even allowed to do.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, you gonna sit up here and talk about you got more money than this dude, but this dude got his own fucking wrestling organization, and he's still getting bookings while being a talent himself. And you want to sit up here and talk about bank accounts?
Yeah. Hey, but
like, dude, like,
another crazy thing though too, and I'm sure you already heard about it, but after that fucking Twitter back and forth, Raw, the following Raw, Paul Heyman was waiting in the back for all the guys to get in, or you know what I'm saying, start pulling up to the arena or whatever, and he pulled Seth Rollins off to the side and fucking reprimanded him for it. Like, he told him, like, yo, we don't need all that shit. Like, straight up.
You goddamn right.
Yeah,
we
like,
don't need all that
he just
shit,
straight
man.
up. He straight up like told him, like, yo, we don't need that. And then I guess pretty much, and I can understand, especially for Heyman, to kind of take offense to it. Like, why are you bringing bank accounts and shit into it? But Heyman pretty much scolded him like a Becky Lynch would probably do, I guess, outside of the television screen. But scolded him and said all this and that, like, yo, we don't need all this shit, whatever. And then he ended up doing a tweet and a public apology to Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like,
which is good, but you know what's funny? That's what shows that this is a very good move for the WWE to have people like Paul Heyman and people like Eric Bischoff that are somewhat old school. You know what I'm saying? And that remembers, like, yo, man, like there's rules to this shit. You know what I'm saying? There's like we didn't have Twitter back then, we didn't have Instagram back then. But the rules are still the fucking same. Like there's rules for the dudes doing what they call the boys, and there's rules for everything in professional wrestling. It's like, yo, how the fuck? Like you came from the indies, nigga. So how the fuck are you gonna? It's crazy. Seth Rollins, you get a fucking.
It really just comes down to this, AG.
Mm-hmm.
It really all comes down to just having respect for the damn business.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a true professional, and if you're a true leader in your organization or in your locker room or whatever, and you really have respect for the business, you're not going to sit up here and degrade the way another professional wrestler is making his living. You're not going to do that shit. Because that's just plain fucking disrespectful to the business.
And another whole boy move that Seth Rollins even did was even bringing Ricochet into it. Or adding Ricochet. You know what I'm saying? Like we already have the better version of you that just won a fucking U.S. title, and then he added Ricochet. Like, you fucking kidding me?
First of all,
Seth Rollins a hoe, man.
It's not even that part that got me heated with Seth. It was the fact that he was calling Will Ospreay little guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, motherfucker, he's as big as you. I'm not bigger than you.
Hey, but shout out to fucking Chris Jericho for chiming in. I think he chimed in and said he's actually taller than you and bigger than you. Then he put playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I mean, like, because
like,
it's the truth.
Yeah,
it's the truth. Like I said, man.
But that's what you're saying. Like, he's saying little guy. So truthfully, he was actually fucking taking a shot at his character and at his bank account. You know what I'm saying? He actually looked at it. That's ridiculous.
I was really gonna say, see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you date a fucking tomboy. This is exactly what happens when you date a fucking tomboy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it's just funny because before he started dating Becky, he wasn't saying shit like this.
Yeah, now he's lashing out. He's lashing out at people.
But it just so happens when he started dating Becky Lynch, old lima bean pussy smelling ass, that he started acting like this.
Yeah, it's weird. And fuck Becky Lynch. I can't stand that.
I'm just like, dude, you really gonna let a woman change you?
That's what it is. It is.
You really gonna let a woman change you, Seth? Like, come on, dog. I thought you were better than that. You're supposed to be the fucking architect. You're supposed to be smarter than this shit. Yeah. But you're gonna let a little brunette headed fake Conor McGregor female version wannabe change you, and all of a sudden having you talking shit and trying to be, talking about bank accounts and all that other shit. You ain't never done that before, Seth.
It's weird.
Come on, man.
But another thing that was funny, what the oh no. Did you see the what was it? It was a promo that he cut with Becky Lynch backstage, and then they asked her a question, and she was just like, for fucking 30 seconds. No, that was the kicker. That made it to where, you know what? From now on, I'm not holding my tongue anymore. I didn't hold my tongue last week when I talked about Becky Lynch, but fuck that, man. Fuck that shit. That shit made that shit made me want to spit on her. And I never do.
God dang, AD, don't fucking spit on the damn woman.
No, I ain't gonna do that. But no, like,
you want to talk about extreme? Jeez,
no, I'll put it this way. That was one of the most irritating. That was one of the most irritating things that I've seen in a fucking wrestling interview. For how many times she did.
And you know what?
Shut the fuck up, man.
And you know what, man? I gotta issue an apology right now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and do this right here on DVP.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta issue an apology to Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And the reason why I gotta issue an apology to Charlotte Flair, because you know what? For all the shit that people talk about Charlotte Flair, or I should say, let me rephrase that. For all the shit people talk about Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that ever since Becky has made it to the top of WWE, and, you know, she's got all of this prestige now, and she's getting this big push, and now she's the Raw Women's Champion, and she was, you know, Becky 2 belts and all that other bullshit.
Yeah, I can't
It's
stand
very ironic that promo that Charlotte cut on Becky a couple of months back on SmackDown about, you know, how she's let all this shit get to her head. I gotta apologize to her, because you know what, Charlotte, you was right.
Yeah.
You was right. I thought, you know what I'm saying, not trying to read too much into the promo or whatever, but like, now that I think about it, like, seeing all this shit that she be doing on social media, and just looking at the shit that Seth is doing, I'm like, you know what? Charlotte was right about her ass. I was all wrong. I was all wrong about Charlotte, man. So you know what? I want to publicly apologize right here and now on the Dear Biz podcast. Charlotte, you were right, girl. Kudos to you for telling the motherfucking truth and showing us the real fucking Becky Lynch.
And fuck
For
Becky
real.
Lynch, man. Like, this ain't no rant. I'm not gonna rant. Like, I'm not gonna rant. Fuck Becky Lynch, man. Like, that was the most irritating. That was the most irritating shit that I've ever seen. That was the most irritating shit that I've ever seen, man. Like, I forget what was said. Yeah, it was just like, holy fuck.
Corny.
Yeah,
and Seth,
it was
and
cringy.
Seth looked like such a hoe.
Yeah.
And Seth looked like such a hoe doing that shit with her too.
He is.
I'm just like, for you to walk around with this reputation of being like a badass and being like, you know what I'm saying, this resilient competitor in the ring that never gives up. You sure as hell let Becky Lynch bring you down.
Yeah, but then that's the thing that pisses me off is like I think you said it last week is no. It was a comment in the last podcast. Shout out for comments. Like, definitely comment on you know what I'm saying. You watch the whole podcast, comment on whatever the fuck you want. But somebody said that it was Seth Rollins' idea to push the whole angle of him being the less, or pretty much her being the dominant. That's what it was that they said. Her being the dominant one in the relationship. I'm like, if Seth pushed for that, he's the biggest pussy on the fucking planet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, my thing is,
that's a whole move.
Yeah, and even if he didn't push for it, if Stephanie McMahon was like, yo, this is an idea, he should have been like, hell no, fuck that shit.
Nah, man.
But he's with it. He's with it. He's a bitch, man. I don't fuck with Seth anymore. Seth Rollins a bitch, straight up.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that either, man. Because I'm just like, I don't care how much I love you, and I don't even care if you're my woman. Like, in a professional setting, especially if I'm the motherfucking champion,
the universal champion.
Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way. If I'm working with my girl and she's the damn women's champion, and I'm supposed to be the doggone
universal.
Yeah, am I supposed to be the motherfucking top guy on my brand? And my woman is supposed to be like, you know, the top woman in her division? Ain't no damn way I'm booking myself to
devalue the belt. Is what it is.
Not even
devaluing
the belt.
It's devaluing him and the belt. He's a bitch.
It's not even a belt. It's not even about the belt. Fuck the belt. Fuck the universal title.
Word.
What I'm talking about is, I'm talking about my integrity and about my character.
Yeah, I got
Ain't no way I'm booking myself
I feel like I'm way
to
close
be
to
lowered to the point where, even though she's a woman and even though she so-called knows how to kick people's ass or whatever the case may be, or that's how she's portrayed.
Yeah.
I'm not having her, you know, being the dominant one in a relationship. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm the man. You know, you're if anything, we're gonna be side by side. I ain't gonna be walking behind you. If anything, I'm gonna be walking beside you.
And that's what it's gonna be. Hey, you know what's funny? Every episode of Being the Elite, and it was kind of funny. That, like I said, I'm not. Here comes conspiracy fucking beer coming out, or looking too far into shit beer coming out. But no, on Being the Elite, on the 8-bit cartoon portion of it, when the show starts, Cody's up on on a pedestal and people like holding the throne and he's like sitting on top, and then Brandy Rhodes is walking behind. I'm like, yo, that's bullshit, man. They should have Brandy up there, you know what I'm saying, sitting with him and not walking behind him. That was just a very small similarity of what we were saying. I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck is that all about, man? Brandy, like, get that shit the fuck out of here. Don't have her walking behind this nigga.
right. Like I just, man. And see, but see, the thing of it is, that's the thing with this whole women's revolution.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's straight
that
bullshit.
WWE done came up with.
Yep. Fuck you, Stephanie McMahon. Even though I like Stephanie McMahon is so fucking dope to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, but that fucking concept she came up with wasn't dope though.
Yeah, it's gonna stay around.
That shit done got to some of them women's heads,
yeah.
boy. But you know what? Though, while we on this topic, I will say this though. Like I said, as much shit as people talk, as much as people talk about Charlotte, as much shit as they talk about her, like I have never
I ran out of
ever seen Charlotte try to make herself more above than Andrade.
No, hell no.
I ain't never seen that.
No, but the one thing that I'll say with that is that, like, as far as on the shows and shit, they haven't really publicized it that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know they haven't. She hasn't done that on like social media and shit, but they haven't really been put out there as a couple on television, and I wonder why. I wonder why that hasn't happened yet. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it is what it is.
But no, what I was saying about Charlotte though, the one thing that I respect about her is that even like when you see her and Andrade together, like you could tell that she knows her place.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
She doesn't mind being submissive to Andrade. She does not mind, letting Andrade be the man.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever the case may be.
Her fucking
and that's
nature,
another thing that I respect. Right, and that's another thing that I respect about Charlotte too. Charlotte is a motherfucking woman. She does not try to display herself anything that she's not. And you know what? That actually tells me too, in kayfabe, Charlotte is secure and is comfortable in her own skin. Yeah. Unlike, you know what I'm saying, Little Miss Burnt, orange, red hair, carrot top looking motherfucker over here with the fishnet shorts and shit.
Yeah, fucking
like
idiot.
She's
Ronnie, Ronnie,
right.
Shut the fuck up, man! Before I hit you with a fucking cantaloupe, bitch.
Like that shows me, like her, like really trying to live in or put herself in a man's position. That really shows how fucking insecure she is.
Yeah.
Like, I really just peeped that shit, like, here lately.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you want to be a motherfucking dude so damn bad. And I'm just like, how the hell does that look? Like, and the thing of it is, too, like, and even though I'm sitting up here talking all this shit about Becky, and even though she has gotten on my damn nerves, like, here lately, my thing is, it's like, you're not a damn ugly woman. You're actually a beautiful woman if you really take the time to embrace that shit and try not to walk around like you got a dick and trying to be tough and hard all the damn time.
Yeah, and
if you really
and we understand that, okay, it is a character, but my thing is, like, I kind of think that she's starting to believe this shit, and I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, she's really starting to believe that.
That's
shit.
What I'm saying, dude.
Like Ronda Rousey back in the day when she said that she think that she could beat Cain Velasquez. Like, shut the fuck. You can't beat me, Ronda Rousey, just for the fact that you're a female. Fuck out of here. In a grappling match, maybe you could fucking get a tap or some shit. But if you attack, like, if it was, you're not beating no nigga, Ronda Rousey. But this ain't even about Ronda Rousey. Becky Lynch need to calm the fuck down, man. She's getting on my fucking nerves. But
really
go ahead,
need
my
to chill
bad.
out with that shit, bro.
Yeah, shit lame.
You really need to chill out with that shit, bro, because that shit is not cool. And the fact
It's
that
irritating.
you know,
I don't understand. I don't understand how she's not having like less fans. But that's what's crazy. How you call them jock sniffers? You call them jock sniffers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because Seth Rollins is sucking her clit, bro.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
It's ridiculous.
Seth Rollins is sucking her clit and pumping her head up with all of this
like
hot
it's
air
real,
and really
like
making
real.
her believe that shit, bro.
Like it's fucking real, ridiculous.
Like
man.
it's fucking legit when it's not, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're not a man, Becky. And even going back, because I know I mentioned to you before here on the show that, you know, me and my mother often have conversations about this because my mother watched the product too.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother even, you know, had some thoughts about Becky Lynch, and she even expressed to me like how embarrassing that shit is.
Yeah, it is.
Of Becky actually thinking that she's a man. She was like, my mama was like, that shit ain't cute.
No, it ain't.
You know, you walking around trying to, you know, act like you a man. That shit ain't cute.
Yeah, it just makes her face more slappable than someone like MJF.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's where they're going with it. Maybe that it's not gonna work. But then again, it may work with the fucking type of fans that the WWE has. Because my thing is like you still have a bunch of dudes at Raw with the man posters shot up in the air during a fucking live show, like calling this female the man. I'm like, get the fuck out. Like, if you're a grown man holding a sign about a chick calling her the man, like, get the fuck out of here. And on top of everything, her fucking boyfriend is fucking, I mean, if you remember back, because I just did the reason, like, he was called Tyler Black, and he was one of the most hoish fucking wrestlers of all time at his beginning. He did, like, weird erotic shit. Did you know that?
No, I never knew that.
Seth Rollins did weirdo fucking, like, wrestling. Yeah, fuck that guy. And he went by Tyler Black.
Wait a minute, hold on. So you're telling me Seth Rollins was Joey Ryan before Joey Ryan was Joey Ryan?
I guess so. He definitely did some shit, and it was like very weird.
Wait a minute. So AG, so you're telling me, so basically what you're telling me is he could make dudes flip if they touched his dick?
Yep, he actually could. but you didn't know that? You didn't know that?
Hell no, I ain't know that shit, man.
Hey, we may take a break real quick. Start up with that, like have you just look at a couple videos of that shit, and then do the Fyter Fest recap and go ahead and end the podcast for this week. But that's crazy. Look up Tyler Black. I think he went as Tyler Black when he was being this very You know what? I'm gonna send you a video. I'm gonna send you a video.
Man.
I'm gonna send you a video.
Just send me the damn video, man.
Because I just want to make sure this first take goes down and we have the first half of this thing down. But we are good to go. What was you saying?
But I was gonna say, but even before we get to Fyter Fest, man, you know, there was, you know, something very interesting that happened on SmackDown Live that I feel is worth talking about. And I think you know what I'm getting at with this.
I need a little preview, truthfully. Just say something very vague.
Well, let's just put it like this.
Get me excited.
Let's just say, okay, we all know that the upcoming WWE Championship match is going to be Kofi Kingston and Samoa Joe. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out on SmackDown Live that Samoa Joe and Kofi Kingston had a little face-to-face confrontation. Mm-hmm. And let's just say, for the first time in a long time, WWE allowed one of their top superstars to be able to tell another superstar that he was number one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about visually. Tell him he's number one.
Yeah, what the fuck. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I think Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff maybe they're looking back at that Attitude Era, man. I think we're in the midst of a fucking a stir up, a change in the fucking era of professional wrestling when it comes to this, and I'm doing air quotes right now, universe. We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that, man. I'm going to go ahead and take a break because I got to pee. Then I'll probably smoke a cigarette. Then after that, we'll get right back to finish off episode 6, Dear Vince Podcast. He's going to bring us back in. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
We're back. So, did you see it, man? Did you see that? Did you see that shit?
Dude, what in the fuck was that?
See, hey, now, I mean, I know you already appreciated the conspiracy AG, the conspiracy beer drank, the conspiracy fucking, you know what I'm saying, aspect that I bring to the game. Company. Doing the background.
Yeah, the conspiracy files.
Because a lot of times, like, you'll hear rumors and shit about stuff, but then I'm like, man, let me look this shit up. I'm like, holy shit, Mr. Tyler Black, Seth Rollins. Like, damn, like now it may be an angle going for the whole, because I just thought of it while I was outside smoking a cigarette and almost got attacked by a deer family out there. And
damn.
I'm like, okay, is Becky Lynch going to be the man in the situation with Seth Rollins, and then he ends up having a little gay shit with Finn Balor? They over there eating each other's butts behind the fucking Titantron. Shit, I see where you're going with this, Stephanie. I see where you're going with this. But like, was that questionable, or was that like one of those things?
Dude,
where
that
it's
was
like
more than fucking questionable, man.
And there's more videos. There's more videos
that was
out.
The damn exclamation point. That was the fucking comma.
Yeah.
That was all of that shit.
Underline.
Like, what the fuck kind of push-ups do you call those? This dude doing like the eagle eye or whatever the fuck it is.
And then like, mind you, I guess this was when he was in the Indies. I wonder how much you got paid for that. I wonder how much you got paid for that, Seth. Fucking Tyler Black. I wonder how much you got paid for that fucking indie wrestling promotion with absolutely no one watching but the camera and whoever paid for this fucking fetish video. Fuck out of here.
Wow, man.
The fuck out of here. I'm just glad.
Like, what was really going on with this dude? Like, I'm still not understanding, like, what kind of fucking push-ups those were. So can you even call those push-ups?
Nah, them wasn't push-ups.
Like, what the hell do you call that shit that he was doing?
Those were fuck-ups. That was the classic fuck-up move. Like, fuck the curb stomp. That was the fuck-up. But, yeah, I told you, man. And like I said, like, that's the power of the internet, the power of YouTube. Like, thank you, YouTube. Even though a lot of people have problems with YouTube, and truthfully, I hate algorithms, and I hate YouTube's algorithm, but y'all been showing us love. We're getting way more fucking followers and watchers of the podcast, Dear Vince Podcast, episode 6. This is right now, but hey, you know what's funny? Like, normally they talk about shoes, but like, yo, Seth, what are those?
Oh my
what
goodness.
were those? Like, you
I
fucking
still
kidding.
can't get that image out of my head. Like,
yep.
I'm just like, is this dude trying to do a push-up, or is he doing what I think he's doing?
I think it was what we all fucking thought or think or saw. But yeah, man. And for all the listeners out there, my thing, the Dear Vince Podcast, we're not bigots, we're not racist, we're not anything towards any gender or whatever thing. I'm a Christian. First and foremost, I cuss a lot and I drink beer, but I'm a Christian and I have my own beliefs, but I don't cast judgment on anything. But my thing is like, we saw that, or I saw that, I shot it to him, and it's like, this is just the real reaction of the whole situation. It kind of puts a little clarity on the whole Becky Lynch thing. And truthfully, like I said, it may go a different way. But what were you saying, man? Like,
dude, I'm just like, I cannot get that image out of my head. And then what tripped me, and then what really like disturbed me the most is this motherfucker was moaning while he was doing that
dude,
shit.
No. There's another video. I'm not sure if it's on Daily Motion, but it may be on Daily Motion, but I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube too. Like, they have full matches of Seth Rollins having these weird fetish type, just weirdo fucking independent. But my thing, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not gonna call that independent wrestling. Like people like Jim Cornette shit on people like Orange Cassidy for like the whole comedy shit. Like I get it. I like the comedy wrestling, to be totally honest. It's a good break. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like do it in between the mid to the upper tier matches on an indie card. But things like this are independent wrestling. It's like, I'll put it this way. This should be an episode on that Viceland series, The Wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? And truthfully, they even tapped in on it. They tapped in on it when they were talking about the Japanese women or whatever, and then they had one lady from like Brooklyn or some shit, New York. And she did like kind of fetish wrestling shit. But who would have thought that your favorite WWE, the guy, for now, because my thing is, I mean, shit, I think Becky Lynch may be the guy. But, but yeah, who would have thought that Seth Rollins, the indie basher, the let's fucking compare bank account guy, bank accounts guy, smashing on fucking indie wrestling, and he's done some indie wrestling like this. And my thing is, like, truthfully, I'm pretty sure that like Paul Heyman's a genius and he's smart. And he's probably like, yo, you need to apologize, because if he fucking really wants to go in on you, he can.
Yeah.
Talking about indie rap,
the proof is out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
The evidence is out there. I saw it just a few minutes ago.
And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry for sending it to you, man. I feel like a bad friend.
Dude, no, that really shows me like the true person that Seth Rollins really is.
Exactly. Because I lost respect for him as a dude, to be honest. And then, like I said, my thing that I'm not going to alter or change my opinion or what I say. This is the Dear Vince podcast, mind you, but I'm not going to alter my beliefs and what I think of that. So, Seth, you need to keep your mouth shut, because if someone wants to cook you, they can cook you. Like you could be cooked well done. You could be done cooked steak. Meat.
They could literally just like ruin you, like with that one clip.
Yeah, 37 seconds was it? It was 37 fucking seconds. Fuck out of here, Seth.
Yeah, man.
Fuck out of here, Seth. You need to grab your, like, for real, reclaim your nuts out of Becky Lynch's fucking book bag. Please. Please. And then after you reclaim the nuts, please go back and delete, like, just delete past things, which you can't do. So therefore, don't talk shit about the indie wrestlers in the indies period, and don't fucking make like calm down, bro. Calm down. You're not the guy. Your woman's the guy, and you're good with that. Fuck you, Seth Rollins. Fuck you. As I crack another beer. Like, fuck you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the shoot with Aaron Gordon, ladies and gentlemen. This has become the shoot podcast.
And I said I wasn't even going to do it. Didn't I say at the beginning of the podcast, I'm like, I'm going to make sure I don't do it.
This has become the Dear Seth podcast tonight.
Hey, you know what? Hey, the name of this episode is going to be Seth Rollins, the Jock Sniffer. He's gonna, like, for real. That's the name of this episode. Fuck that.
So you're just gonna tear a page out of my book, huh?
Yeah, it's yours. It's the Dear Vince podcast. It is what it is. What do you want to do?
Wow.
You want to jump on Fyter Fest?
Yeah. Let's enough with you know what I'm saying. Enough with guys that like to moan and drop down and get their eagle on in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Like enough of that for a minute. Let's actually talk about
some
guys
wrestling
that are actually like real, stand up men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
But going on to Fyter Fest, man. I really like this show. I will admit, though, just to be fair and in the interest of being neutral or whatnot, the buy-in pre-show did get off to a little bit of a slow start.
Yeah.
I think they could have did away with the Michael Nakazawa and the CEO of the gaming company or whatever.
Forget his name. Yeah, but
that was a very
the thing with that though is like that was almost probably like a bucket list thing, and he probably had like a lot to do with the push and even having the whole Fighter Fest / video gaming
convention or whatever
convention
it was.
type thing. So I mean, so I understand that. And truthfully, and like I said, horrible match, but I'll give him his props, like for actually going in there, taking bumps and fucking. Because at the beginning of the match, he looked so horrible. But then it's funny because it's like us, the consumer, and us, the fan that are watching it, we're like, oh, like he looks horrible in the ring. But it's like he's not a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
So I'm like, shit, he got in there, he did it, and it wasn't a good match. And my thing is like, it's definitely a bad look as far as wrestling to be like, what was he, suplexing to a fucking kiddie pool? Like that doesn't hurt at all. Like, but
right.
it was real corny. But I think that it was just his consolation prize. It was his consolation prize for putting them up on. You know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead and go forward with this thing. This is a bucket list thing that I want to get done. I think it'd be dope. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean that is a way to look at it. But you know, if you ask me,
hey, real quick, did they put that on? They put that on as the main event to the buy-in, though, huh? Didn't they?
No.
Oh, was that the first?
That wasn't the main event.
Oh,
that was
okay.
the tag team four-way.
Okay,
was the main event of the buy-in.
So I'm
pre-show.
good. All right, I'm good. So,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
But going back to what I was saying about this Nakazawa and the CEO match, if you ask me, I mean, yeah, even though technically it wasn't supposed to be that big a deal, but my thing is that if you're seriously going to go through getting inside the wrestling ring and actually doing a wrestling match, my thing is that if you're going to call this a dream, or as you labeled it, a bucket list type of occasion, then I feel like personally
you should have put in the work.
You should, you should, do it 100% to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Now I can understand you want to be safe.
He may
and
have.
You don't want to take too many
hard
have. Bumps or whatnot.
He looked like a very unathletic, like kind of jock sniffer. Like, I'm using your shit. Like, I'm about to use that shit tomorrow on my girl. I'm about to call her a jock sniffer like a motherfucker. But that's exactly what he looked like. He looked like a fucking jock sniffing fucking Seth Rollins fan Mark that was that won the sweepstakes by donating $50 to fucking be in a fucking bingo fucking contest, and he won, and he got to go into the wrestling ring and make himself look like a jerk off.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and all of that is understandable. But my thing is, again, if this is a dream of yours, and especially
go
if
all
it's
in.
on a national,
no pun intended. No pun intended.
Right.
Yeah, go
if it's
all in.
It's going to be in front of a national audience, which the buy-in pre-show was in front of a national audience, because not only was it on the Bleacher Report Live, but little did I know,
it was on YouTube.
It was also on TNT.
It was?
Yeah, it was. I didn't realize
Damn,
that
I didn't know that
until I went back and watched it, and I saw the little TNT logo.
So
down at the bottom.
TNT are invested already. They're like, you know what? Fuck that. That's dope. Was it just TNT online, or was it TNT like the actual channel?
I think it was TNT online.
Oh, but that's still big. It's still big. That's crazy.
It really is.
I see why why Vince and them are scared.
Right.
I see why they're scared. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
They got to keep their Fox deal, and TNT is already all in on fucking AEW.
All in. There it is.
But yeah, man.
But no, like I said though, like if you're gonna do a match of this magnitude, I just feel like you should do it to the 100% best of your ability. because this is what you signed on for, you know. And another thing too is like, make sure that you properly train and you're properly in shape for this match. What's this subway sucking, like you said, Seth Rollins $50 bingo winning mark was not.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And then on top of that, he did one of the dumbest things you could ever do in the beginning of the match. He actually gave away which part of the body he was injured in.
Oh yeah,
I was just like,
with the
you
leg thing.
stupid son of a bitch. You obviously do not know shit about being a wrestler, let alone storytelling.
Yeah, but then that's the thing that I'll fucking interject in real quick. Okay, like, it's storytelling, and it is like telling on, like, okay, you have an injury here, but it's not a story that's going to be revisited as much. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost like as if it was like kind of a comedy thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you didn't even know the leg that was hurt. It's this one. Like, so I kind of get that, but at the same time, it's like, it was. I'll put it this way: that was probably one of the kickers to where like this shit even fucking went down. Like, you know what? We'll do this thing, but I get to wrestle. He's pretty much Shane McMahon with not as much pull. Hey, look, and a real quick thing with holy shit, with Paul E and Eric Bischoff being the creative directors now in the WWE. Do you think that we're gonna see a little bit less of Shane, and then we'll jump right back on the Fyter Fest?
I sure as hell hope so. I sure as hell hope that Paul Heyman uses his gift of gab, and he politely goes to Vince McMahon. He's like, "Look, Vince, I understand
it's not working.
That Shane McMahon is, you know, the high spot guy, and I understand that, you know, he's generating a lot of heel heat right now. But the bottom line is that his promos are not reaching. No. You know, he's not getting as strong a response.
They're not believable.
They're not believable, and he's not getting as strong a response off of them as you thought he would. And I just don't feel like, you know, you should keep putting him out there obsessively trying to produce a reaction that you know you're never going to get. I mean, because that's really just wasting his time. Yeah, and that's wasting your time.
As a superstar, because that's the thing, and I said that maybe 2 podcasts ago. It's like, I'd love to see Shane at SummerSlam or a WrestleMania on like kind of a squash match or like a mid-card match, fucking jump like coast to coast. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's dope. Like, keep your name in there, but don't try to be a legitimate superstar, because all you're doing is taking someone else's place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, and even like a lot, and last WWE part that we'll talk about. Did you like or hate them letting Elias lose by a figure 4 from The Miz? I didn't like that at all.
Yeah,
what the fuck are they doing with fucking Elias?
That was a lame,
horrible ending. Oh my God.
That's lazy. That's lazy booking. Lazy fucking booking.
It's lazy booking, but at the same time, it's almost like, when will Elias get the respect that he deserves as a talent, with having the look, with having fucking the crazy fucking promos, with being able to play fucking instruments? Like, what? You let him lose by figure 4 by a guy that that's not even his fucking finishing move. I'm angry at this whole Elias situation,
dude,
man. Elias is my favorite. Yeah, it's bullshit.
As much as I hate to say this, but it's kind of true, and Shane McMahon says it often in his promos. This is the McMahon's universe. Yeah, this is their universe.
That's
and
what it
in
is.
Their universe, but they don't see Elias as that big of a draw.
But how? That's my thing, though, and this is my question. Like, I'm glad that this fucking just randomly came up. But how and why? Seeing that the WWE even put out an album for him, And like I listened to the album, like I got Spotify. I listened to the album. I'm like, and it's not good, but it's still funny. It's a novelty fucking music act, and I fuck with Elias so much. Like, but I just don't understand what the disconnect is on pushing Elias Sampson. Or truthfully, it's not even Sampson anymore. It's just Elias.
You don't know what the problem is?
Where's the disconnect? Let me know, man.
The problem is simple. It's right in front of you. Number one, because he's not over 6 feet tall, and number two, he does not look like a Mangalore or like he's off of 300. That's basically it.
I kind of gotta disagree with that because
I mean
he has a monstrous physique. He has a monstrous physique, long hair,
but he's not tall.
Yeah, maybe the tall thing, but my thing is that why does he have to be? And truthfully, I kind of get what you're saying. Like he does have even the face, like it's kind of. He looks like he should be a big man, but he's not a big man. He's like the size.
Right.
He's the size of a Cena, probably 20 pounds heavier. But my thing though is his character and everything that he does is so over. Why isn't he getting the push that fucking not Braun Strowman, but why is he getting the push that the fucking jerk off, fucking what's his name? Holy shit, Baron Corbin's getting.
Oh, Baron.
You know what I'm saying? Like, give
him
him more TV time. Like, it's so irritating to see
because Vince McMahon runs the WWE.
He should leave. He should go to AEW, straight up. He better do it before Marty Scurll does.
I'm telling you, because Vince McMahon still runs the WWE.
Yeah, it's
bullshit. That's why I said, like, if you're not over 6 feet tall,
mm-hmm.
you're not gonna get the push. That's just what it is.
And that's what Bray Wyatt. That's what Bray Wyatt said as far as the big man or the whatever the muscle dance.
Man
yeah,
dance.
The muscle man dance. You got to be a big man. Oh yeah. Okay, look. I swear we're getting back to Fyter Fest, but is like, what do you say about no Firefly Funhouse, no Easter eggs this week? I didn't catch it. You may have caught some. I didn't catch any. No Easter eggs. Like, is somebody hating? Does Paul Heyman hate the idea? Does Eric Bischoff hate the idea? Why in the fuck have we seen no evidence of The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse, like any of the fucking like what the fuck? Like what the fuck? You can't do this.
Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
I think that with appointing Paul Heyman and
Mm-hmm.
Eric Bischoff as creative directors or executive producers, to use the corporate term.
I'm about to cry.
I'm sorry. I don't want to say it, AG, but it's just the truth. With the acquisition of Bischoff and Heyman as the executive producers, aka the creative directors of both Raw and SmackDown.
Don't say it.
They don't see Bray Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse as a valuable asset.
You know, and you know why? Because they're looking at the whole thing. They're trying to make the whole thing better rather than that being the savior of it. But
right.
That could be the old school that you were talking about, as far as like, no, we're trying to fucking clean up the entire show, but it's just 1 week, man. Like my thing, I got 2 fingers crossed right now that next week on Raw that we have some kind of Firefly Funhouse something, because
I mean, hey,
I don't want them to do this to Bray. They can't do this to Bray. If you know what's funny, if there's no video or anything, if there's no fucking acknowledgement of the Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt, The Fiend next week, I think I may be done with the WWE, and I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed that I fucking see Bray Wyatt debut on the first episode of Dynamite. Straight up. Like real shit.
You talking about Wednesday Night Dynamite?
Yep, real shit. Because Bray Wyatt is gold, and they're not using them, and while it's over, like, it's very weird that like they didn't have any Easter eggs or anything of Bray Wyatt, and that shit, it's kind of it's a spit in the face to me. It's like, it's very irritating. I hate it. I absolutely
man. that's the unfortunate thing when they brought Bischoff and Heyman on, because my thing with Bischoff is that I was gonna say back in WCW, a lot of people don't understand this, but you remember when Mortis and Glacier were in WCW?
Oh yeah,
that was Eric Bischoff's idea.
Yeah, real corny characters. Yeah, real corny characters. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was all Eric Bischoff. So
and definitely a good fucking Mortis as far. Yeah, that's definitely dope.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, when it's all said and done, let's not write this whole thing with Bray off just yet, because like I said, Eric Bischoff did create Mortis and Glacier. So maybe it could be the fact that they might be saving Bray to actually debut and be exclusive to SmackDown.
Oh,
since he would be more of an Eric Bischoff type of guy.
Yeah. Okay, and Eric Bischoff could that. Yeah, that was a good take. That was a very fucking good take. Yeah. So I get you.
Yeah, man.
I get you on that.
So let's not get too tense or get too heated about the lack of Bray Wyatt on WWE TV this week, because maybe that with this new experiment that they're trying to try out with Bischoff and Heyman, maybe Bray could just be the result of like, okay, we haven't forgot about you, Bray, but right now we're trying out this new creative executive producer thing with Heyman and Bischoff, and we're just in the midst of trying to find which brand is going to be the right fit for you. And I said,
it should be Raw, but at the same time, I kind of understand it to where I understand exactly what you're saying with that, but with the amount of steam and the amount of internet love that he's getting from the fun houses, and just the mystique of the Fiend, when is he gonna pop up, and the characters, when are they gonna pop up behind. It was just very weird. If they, because that truthfully, last week, I'm not counting this past Monday and Tuesday, last week was kind of a fallback from the Funhouse, just Easter eggs. You know what I'm saying? Just popping up a character here and there on both shows. And then this week, Raw, nothing. And I'm just if it continues to do that, it's definitely a bad look, because it's kind of taking away momentum, because that's the only reason why I tune in to fucking Raw and SmackDown. Truthfully, I want to see what the fuck Bray Wyatt's doing. And and I'm thinking,
I do too.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that it could be just one of those things to where it's because Bray's a very abrasive and opinionated person, and I could see him clashing with Paul Heyman. You know what I'm saying? And then I could see Paul Heyman, just how he told Seth Rollins. Oh, that was another thing I said with those that I saw with the whole Seth Rollins thing. When he made him apologize to Will Ospreay, he's just how you got to this position, it could be taken away. And that's from him being newly fucking appointed, the creative director. He put Seth Rollins in his place, and then that's when Seth Rollins put out the apology to Will Ospreay. So it's it could be a power juggle to where it's these niggas are just kind of checking everybody, just going through the list and checking everybody. Look, this is mine now, and I'm just hoping that they're not putting the kibosh on fucking the Firefly Funhouse. If so, I'm done watching WWE. You heard it first.
And you have every right, and you have every right to do that. All I'm saying is that don't write it off just yet, because like I said, Bray Wyatt could end up being an Eric Bischoff guy, because Eric Bischoff does like those type of characters, because like I said, he did create Mortis, he did create Glacier. Hell, I even think he had something to do with the Dungeon of Doom as well.
Oh,
like I said, maybe it could just be that, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe it could just be the fact, like I said, that they're just trying to try this experiment out with Bischoff and Heyman, and maybe they're just looking at Bray as like, okay, we just got to see what brand is the best fit for Bray.
Yeah.
And if I what I
was just gonna ask you. What brand is the best for Bray Wyatt?
Like I was just about to say, if I could just place my best bet on which brand would be best for Bray Wyatt, I would say SmackDown. I would say Bray could be an Eric Bischoff guy. I really believe he could.
Yeah.
Because Eric Bischoff likes gimmicks.
Yeah, definitely.
He does like gimmicks. And, if you give him the right talent to work with,
hey, hot take.
He can make them a star.
Hot take. And truthfully, to be totally honest, though WWE is the pinnacle right now, and they are number one as far as professional wrestling here in the United States, but just for the fact that they're going to a new network, slow it down, bring it up as soon as they go to that new network. So that kind of makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Bring back the Funhouse fresh on Fox. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like bring it like almost like re-debut it on Fox. So that kind of makes a whole lot of sense. So yeah, definitely, man. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm glad that you're here to fucking calm me the fuck down. Cause I was on the train tracks and I fucking had the rope out.
Boy, I'm telling you, man.
I had the rope out and I'm like, fuck WWE, I'm done with it. But that kind of makes a lot of sense. Bring back the Funhouse or truthfully, make that the first segment on the first episode of the Fox show. That would be crazy.
It would be.
That would be crazy.
It would be. But like I said, let's not doubt it just yet. Let's just wait and see, how, these roles work out with Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff. And like you said, let's see what happens when October gets here. Yeah. And, the first episode of SmackDown Live on Fox. And then we'll definitely have a better determination of, where Bray Wyatt goes and if he indeed becomes an Eric Bischoff guy.
We'll see. Hopefully he will.
So,
well, let's get back to Fyter Fest, and then we'll go ahead and fucking finish this thing off. We're the hour and 22 minutes. Holy shit. Talking wrestling. Yo, I could talk, and I know you could too. We could talk wrestling for 5 hours. Fuck that shit. But I know, like, we gonna keep it to a minimum. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Fyter Fest once again. Get back to Fyter Fest, and what do you have, man? What do you have?
Okay, so basically, for those of you that don't know, finishing off the Nakazawa CEO match, Michael Nakazawa ended up winning that match when it was all said and done. Yeah. So I'm officially through with that match there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let's go and talk about the real highlight of the pre-show, which was this awesome fatal four-way match. Or what was it a triple? Well, hold on. Was it a triple threat?
I think it was a triple. Yeah. It was the two Japanese women and then the big girl.
No. I'm talking about on the pre-show. I'm talking about the pre-show.
You're talking about the tag match.
The tag team. Was it a three-way or a four-way?
I think it was a three. It was
three-way.
Yeah, it was. What was it called? What do you call it?
Private party, best friends,
and what you call it? SU. Yeah, SCU. Yeah, it was a three-way.
Okay, so it was a three-way. All right. So this, in my opinion, was the real highlight of the pre-show because I absolutely enjoyed this match. The one thing that I loved about it the most was the fact that everybody got to showcase what they can do.
Yeah.
I was especially impressed with the Private Party's performance. But I mean, of course, me being the wrestling mastermind that I am, I told my esteemed colleague over here just how good Private Party was.
And thank you.
Oh, no problem. Don't mention it. But I'm just like, from everything that I said about Private Party before, they just further proved me right.
Yeah, they did.
This past Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with the tandem wrestling offense, to just the fast paced nature of the match,
and so much
everything.
that the Vince decided to bring their fucking hip hop niggas in on Raw.
Right. That
so
could have
much,
definitely
yeah. So they
persuaded them to bring the Street Profits on Raw.
They definitely made their mark and fucking got. I mean, Street Profits. Y'all owe that to Private Party.
AEW. Yeah. Oh yeah. But not to take away from the other tag teams though. The Best Friends, they had a really good showing in this match. SCU.
Hey, real quick. And like this, I'm fucking cutting you off so much. But that's the one thing I wanted to ask you, because I know that you're a fan of MMA as well, and we've been fans of MMA since the fucking 90s. But is like the Best Friends? Are one of them niggas Stephen Bonner? Real shit.
you would talk. I think
I'm
you
like,
would be
real.
preferring to Chucky T, the Kentucky gentleman.
Yeah, is that so? It's not Stephen Bonner. Like, one of them looks a lot like Stephen Bonner, but then I saw that Stephen Bonner wrestles now.
I hate to Maury.
I feel like
to
a
be
Mark
the Maury in this situation.
Yeah, so it's not.
He is not
Stephen Bonner. But Stephen Bonner does wrestle now, right? I think he does.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
But yeah, but that was my thing. You put me on even the Best Friends, because I watched the first pay-per-view, and that's when I knew of them, but I didn't really know anything of them. And you mentioned them. Now I end up looking them up. I'm like, this motherfucker look just like damn Stephen Bonner. I thought sure that was Stephen Bonner, but he's just maybe not as tall. Yeah.
Right. It's very easy to mix to get Chucky T and Stephen Bonner mixed up.
They look the same, yeah.
He's not Stephen Bonner.
Word.
Trust me. But like I said, I really enjoyed the Best Friends performance in this match. I also enjoyed SCU as well. They always deliver, whichever combination it is, whether it's Scorpio Sky and Christopher Daniels, or Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, or whatever.
And shout out
Either
to Christopher
way,
Daniels.
SCU. Shout out to Christopher Daniels.
For doing your shit for so long and being still fucking so athletic. That's crazy.
True legend. True legend, man. True legend of fallen angel, man. Love that guy.
Definitely.
But yeah, man. In the end, the Best Friends were the ones that ended up getting the win. I was actually very surprised by that. I surely thought that it would be Private Party getting the push here and winning the match. But I understand Private Party is still young. They got a whole lot of years ahead of them. And the Best Friends were the team that, a lot of wrestling fans, especially the AEW fans, weren't as familiar with. So that was smart of AEW to go ahead and give those guys the push and have them win the match. And, just kind of get them further along, to the newer fans that are going to be watching AEW this fall on Wednesday Night Dynamite. So I'm cool with that call of the Best Friends winning, but you definitely have to, like I said, give props to the Private Party, for a great showing, even in defeat. Like that is the perfect way to book a tag team that looks strong in defeat.
Yeah.
So kudos to AEW for doing that.
And that's what they're gonna do, because like I said, they're ran by fucking wrestlers, so they're not they're not just gonna totally bury one tag team for another. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good. Like, pretty much they're not gonna bury a tag. They're gonna make the losses beneficial to both, to where like every fucking match matters, and that's why wins and losses matters, because and think of it that way, because wins and losses matter. Doesn't that, as the consumer and as the watcher, kind of make you want to pay more attention to the match? You know what I'm saying?
Of course, because there's stakes involved.
Yeah.
They're competing. I mean, this match, had stakes in it too. They were competing to have a chance to get a bye, because as people know, there is a tag team tournament that is going to happen once Wednesday Night Dynamite hits, this fall.
Can't wait.
And one of these teams, or I should say, whoever, participates, whatever other team participates in this tournament is going to have a chance to become the first ever AEW Tag Team Champions. So with the best friends, getting that first round bye, going into the tournament or whatnot, I really believe that whoever the team is that ends up facing them either in the semifinals or in the finals of this tournament, that match is going to be that much more special because, number one, you're going to already have built up the best friends as a strong tag team, and whoever the other team is that meets them is going to be built up just as strong. Therefore, you're going to have a badass match, and it's going to get, wrestling fans talking and further get AEW, or I should say further get wrestling fans talking about AEW, which is the main thing that you want to do. So, I think it's a win-win situation all around. All right, so going on to the main card of Fyter Fest, it's funny that you brought up Christopher Daniels because I want to talk about this match between him and Shima.
And, hey, you know what's fucked up? I didn't watch this match, so you have total control. I did not watch this match.
That's even better.
This one I stepped out. Yeah, this one I stepped out. Yeah, and you remember because I was talking to you doing it. Yeah, but I stepped out then.
Right.
Damn it.
But it was a great, this was a great opening match. Like you said before, Christopher Daniels, just does wonders whenever he steps through the ropes. And Shima, I haven't seen, or I should say I hadn't seen a whole lot of this guy before Double or Nothing, and of course, at Fyter Fest Saturday. But, from what I have seen of him, this man can go. I hear that, this guy was a legend in Japan. He came under the tutelage of another great luchador and another great WCW cruiserweight, longtime cruiserweight, the Ultimo Dragon.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Shima was a student of his. Ultimo Dragon trained him in Mexico or what have you, and just going from
was that the type of wrestling he was doing? He was like very lucha, like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I got to go back and watch that after this podcast. I'm gonna definitely go back and watch that. I forgot all about it. Thanks again.
Man. No. It's cool.
Yeah.
But no, like I was saying, just from him, having that training under the great Ultimo Dragon, and being able to, adapt that style over in Japan, I really think is what gained him the respect of hardcore wrestling fans around the world. And now that he's going to be able to display those talents even more, this time on a bigger platform like an All Elite Wrestling, especially in an event of this magnitude like Fyter Fest, I just think is what made this match that much better. And I really love, the storytelling in the match. Like I said, the fast-paced, athleticism displayed by both men. But as I said just now, I like the storytelling. There was a point in the match where Shima had suffered a back injury, not because he actually injured his back, but because Christopher Daniels had worked on his back for a good bit of the match or whatnot, and Shima did a good job.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing that we're missing. That's the thing that we're missing. Yep.
Right. And Shima, doing a good job of selling the back injury, really making the story of the match come to life that much better. And Christopher Daniels being the veteran that he is, selling, doing his own good bit of selling for Shima, and just making him look good the way that he did. When Shima, ended up getting the victory, because he did end up getting the victory.
Oh, he did. Hey, thanks for spoiling that. No, I'm playing.
But no, once Shima, got the victory or whatnot, the way, Daniels put him over.
Was it it was a good culmination? It was like a good ending?
Oh yeah, it was a great finish. It was a great finish.
Cool.
Like Shima did, like, I've never seen this before, but there's this move, because I believe some WWE superstars do this move. I think Sasha Banks used to do it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was called the Meteora. It's kind of like a thing where, you use both of your knees, but it's kind of like a Luthez press almost, but except you're not using your body. It's like you're using your knees, and then it's like you come off the top rope and you plant both of your knees like on top of your opponent's head, and you slam them down to the mat or whatnot. But the only difference with Shima did it off the top rope while Christopher Daniels was laying down, which made it look even more exciting.
Brutal.
So that was a great move.
Okay, so when he landed it, he landed it on the shoulders?
Yeah, he landed it on the shoulders.
So he was laying down but upward maybe. And
yeah.
Then, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I was about to say. I know he wasn't laying down flat, laid down.
Yeah,
because then it would just be like, okay, that's dope.
If you go back and watch the match and actually watch like
that
how
brutal,
he executed it.
Yeah, that would look brutal as fuck.
It was awesome.
Like
it was awesome. That was a great, but like I said, that was a great opening match. And then, you saw the display of sportsmanship and respect at the end from the Fallen Angel and Shima. And I'm really excited about him too, man. It's not too many of these Japanese guys that I really get excited about. I mean, and that's no offense to them, but there hasn't been, at least in this, 21st century, there really hasn't been too many of these Japanese wrestlers that's really caught my attention. But, with the exception of like, the Kazuchika Okadas and, the Kentas.
Okada's the man.
Yeah. And what's my main man's name from New Japan? Hold on, his name's gonna come to me in just a second.
Google. Oh, fuck that shit.
No. I know his name. I'm just trying to get it out of my mouth.
And anyone that's listening, y'all know this fucking pain. It's like, fuck Google. It's on the tip of my fucking forehead.
It's about the
it's like, fuck that. Like, I know I can do that, now. But no, I'm gonna wait.
Hiroshi. Here it is. Hiroshi Tanahashi. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, yeah. The best look for Japan. But hey. Right. You know what? I mean, go ahead and finish what you were saying. But like, I forgot one whole thing that we definitely should touch on, and then Knockout Fighter Fest. I forgot all about it. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, when you look at guys, in New Japan, like the Kazuchika Okadas and the Hiroshi Tanahashis, and even the Kentas who just returned to New Japan, or didn't return, I should say, made his debut, in New Japan, and then you've got what's my other guy's name, Minoru Suzuki, or whatever the case may be. Like those to me are like the new generation of Japanese stars. Like, as opposed to back in the 90s, you had like, Great Muta, Masahiro Chono,
Jushin Thunder
Saito, God rest his soul.
Masahiro Chono. Fucking,
I just said
Chono.
Yeah.
Mitsuharu Misawa is one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. Just to throw that in there.
Look at Aaron Gordon.
No, Mitsuharu Misawa is one of my favorite. Like, I think he, like, right after Bret Hart is Mitsuharu Misawa.
Wow,
definitely.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. Nigga, I used to tape trade, bro. Like, I used to tape trade on AOL. I used to I was part of the tape trade shit. Yeah, I'm an actual real wrestling fan. Like Mitsuharu Misawa, like people say, like people will say Heat Wave, fucking 98, fucking Rob Van Dam 7. Like, I was there. Like, I tape traded like a motherfucker. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm a huge like But you already know what it is. Like I said, jock sniffers, marks, cornballs. We're not that over here. Like, it is what it is. Like, I've been a huge fan of like Japanese wrestling, fucking all this shit. Like, it's crazy. The only wrestling that I never did educate myself on was AAA, like Mexico.
Yeah.
I because it was less access, and truthfully, on the tape trading rings, there wasn't as many tapes available of AAA for some reason. I don't know why. But Japan was constantly like every fucking week, and I would trade ECW weekly events coupled with like pay-per-views of WWF to trade with New Japan Pro Wrestling and All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, compared to the Japanese, the 90s generation of Japanese wrestlers, like you said, you know, the Mr. What was his name?
Mitsuharu Misawa. I think top 3 greatest ever. Mitsuharu Misawa. He's fire.
Yeah. So when you talk about your Misawas and, like I said, your Chonos, your Mr. Saitos, like you said, Liger, Muda, even Kensuke Sasaki, Hiroshi Hase,
Tenzan.
Too many people.
Yeah,
Tenzan, yeah, Hiroshi Tenzan. Oh yeah,
Ricky Choju.
Oh, yeah. Ricky Choshu. Look at it. You know what? Wow.
Fuck out of here,
Ricky
man. No,
Choshu.
I'm a wrestling fan, bro.
Wow.
Dear Vince Podcast, episode 6.
The inventor of the Scorpion Deathlock.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
A lot of people don't know.
You're welcome, Sting. You're welcome, Sting.
You're welcome, Bret Hart. That's the guy that taught Bret Hart. Don't forget about Owen too. God rest his soul.
Yeah, rest in peace, Owen. You would have been top 10 in everybody's books if you were allowed to cook. But I think that there was a conspiracy that fucked you over. It is what it is. There goes conspiracy. Beer drink.
Yeah, there goes David Duchovny. There goes David Duchovny again. I want to know the truth.
You know,
somebody cue the music.
I've got to pee. Hey, do you want to take one more 5-minute break and then kill Fighter Fest and then done it?
Yeah.
Bet.
You know what? We're just doing it. We're just doing it big here today, or tonight, I should say, on DVP episode 6. We're taking a record 2 commercial breaks, ladies and gentlemen. This is
I'm gonna actually put a commercial in there. Let me know what kind of commercial you want to put in this bitch. Real shit.
Oh boy.
If you have one in mind, let me know. If you have a fucking channel, like a channel thing, I'll shoot your shit in there. Like, word. But yeah.
Okay.
But it is what it is. What we are doing right now is a quick commercial break. We're going to go ahead and finish off the top end, or the top. No, top is normally the beginning. So it's not the bottom, because we're always at the top here at the Dear Vince Podcast. We are on top. You know what I'm saying? We are the winners, bro. We're not Seth Rollins. We're not bitch. Ain't no bitch shit over here. It's the Dear Vince Podcast, episode 6. We're going to be right back in 5 minutes to finish this thing up. And I'm going to ask myself, as well as you listeners, who the fuck are you? Oh, it's going cool. And we are back. Dear Vince Podcast, episode 6. Back to Fighter Fest. Mm-hmm. What do you got to say, man? Like, we talked about the... What did we talk about? We talked about the fucking... We were talking about Christopher Daniels and Shima, but I just went on a whole Japanese wrestling history lesson there. So that's right.
Forgive me.
No, hell no. No forgive, because my thing is everyone should be educated on Japanese wrestling.
Exactly.
Everyone.
Exactly. I'm the fucking master. I'm the fucking wrestling mastermind. What the hell am I apologizing for? Go to bed, Josh Snippers. It's past your bedtime.
Yeah. It's
time.
after 10. Fuck out of here.
Right.
Raw has gone off. Chris Lee Knows Best is on now.
Exactly. Right. So continuing on with the rest of the card. So we now come to the ladies. Mm-hmm. It was a triple threat.
Good match. Good
women's match between Nyla Rose, Reinho, and I forget the young lady's name. I can't pronounce it, but I know they call her the Magic Girl, so I'm just going to call her the Magic Girl.
Yeah, you're Magic.
So,
you're magic,
I initially missed this match because I was out and about myself, but fortunately, my partner here, AG, told me that this was a very good
decent match.
Women's
good
match.
Yeah.
And he even went as far to say that it pretty much shits on any WWE Women's Division match that they have going on right now.
And did it. As far as what you saw, like that, like definitely a great match. And
this was awesome.
I just didn't like the ending though. I just didn't like the ending. I thought that the big girl should have squashed them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't do anything for her career and being the bigger person.
I was gonna get to that, but I was gonna say before that happened, I really love the way that they showcased Nyla Rose here. That made her look super strong. She dominated throughout the match, was throwing, these two little slim Japanese girls around like they were a bunch of practice dummies in a wrestling gym, which was really cool to see. But it was also cool to see the Japanese, women, fight back and try to take, the big, monster female down. Or whatnot.
That doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt them, aka not Nyla Jax. Sorry, WWE Universe, but that doesn't fucking accidentally break necks and backs and fucking arms on a fucking normal spot. Nyla Jax.
This beast is actually safe. This beast is actually safe.
Yeah.
Like this is not, a hazard to your health.
Yeah.
Unlike somebody else that claims to be, a beast or, whatever the fuck she is. But anyway, that's why she's out injured right now and Nyla Rose isn't. So, going on, like I said, I like the way that they showcased Nyla here. I love that she dominated the majority of this match. But I did like the comeback that the two smaller Japanese opponents made, and I even loved, the battle back and forth between the two Japanese participants or what have you. Now, as far as the finish is concerned, I will admit, the way that Nyla Rose was looking in this match, it probably would have been appropriate for her to go over, but in defense of AEW on this, I will say that being that you do have these other partnerships with these other organizations, it's only fair to them that you
put some of their talent
advertise,
over.
that you advertise them, and that you give your international talent a push, because that is going to be a good chunk of what makes up your company.
Yeah.
So
as far as
I don't
money,
mind. Right,
definitely.
and I don't mind the way that it happened either, because, all the story tells is that, Nyla Rose got too overconfident and, she was throwing her weight around.
Yeah. And almost I think she even had a pin and, pulled it up. That's
what I'm saying. It's that classic,
heel shit.
bully, type of match where, the bigger man or the bigger woman is in control and they're dominating most of the match, and they're thinking I can put my opponent away at any given time. And then that situation happens where they just get a little overconfident, and then before you know it, they're getting rolled up surprisingly, and then they end up getting their shoulders pinned for a 3 count. And that's exactly what happened here. So I don't mind the finish at all. It doesn't hurt Nyla Rose because of the fact that, it ended in such a stunning way or whatnot. And I think that was a good way to put, the Japanese talent over or whatnot. Yeah. But with all that being said, great fucking match. I mean, just
really
the
good match.
spots,
really good match. The knee.
Nyla got a chance to display, her strength in this match. And I love the way, the smaller Japanese females, I should say the Japanese female opponents, I love the way that they sold for her. They made Nyla Rose look really, really good or whatnot. So like I said, this doesn't hurt her at all.
Yeah.
Regardless if she lost this match, she's still going to be one of the cornerstones and the focal points of this women's division.
Yeah, definitely.
I have no doubt.
Yeah.
And I think,
do you think that they're going to implement Awesome Kong more?
I think that might have been a one and done.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think that was
too.
a one and done.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Because
hopefully,
I think,
because like that would just be kind of tearing down like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like just,
I think
holding back
Nyla
a
Rose
lot of fucking talent.
is the right. I think Nyla Rose is the monster female that they want to push in this women's division.
But what
so
about
I think
Nia
they're going to
Jax,
go with that.
man? What about Nia? I'll put it this way: Nia Jax goes to AEW. Like, what happens? Do you think they just fucking push her out? Like, just stop wrestling because you're hurting way too many
first
people?
of all, they're not going to put a former WWE talent over, a star or a talent that they're actually trying to build up. They're not going to do that.
Yeah,
I just don't see them doing that.
Yeah.
So no, I'm going to say emphatically no. They would not, push Nyla Rose to the side just to,
put over fucking the ex-WWE fucking. Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like Nia Jax really doesn't have a lot of in-ring talent to begin with. So why the hell would they do that shit in the first place?
And my thing is, she sucks. Let's go to fucking let's go to let's go to Cody and Darby Allin.
Actually,
I like the fact
that was the other match. No. Wait a minute.
No, we had other. Hangman Page?
About the 4-way match?
The Hangman Page shit?
Yeah, you're going to forget about your boy? You're going to forget about MJF?
MJF. No, I didn't, but I didn't like the way that the match was handled because they didn't give him enough, like, TV time, to be honest, in this video. Like, it,
Well, it was the match.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shit on AEW real quick, just for the fact of having too many 3-way dances, having too many 4-way matches, having too many of that. Like, if you have a guy like MJF, singles match, that's it. He shouldn't have to share the ring with 3 other people, period, or 2 other people. Like, let him cook and let him do his thing the way that he can do it. That way we could really get this motherfucker over. Cause he's kind of a diamond in the rough. And it's funny, is like people that know of MJF, cool. But if he's used the way that the WWE should be using Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse and shit, if he's like just, you know what, we're going with that. You know what I'm saying? It would take it to a whole nother level, but it's kind of like they're just giving everyone fair. They're making it fair for everyone to fucking like kind of play their role. I'm like,
let's look at it. Let's look at it like this, AG. Again, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna defend AEW on this one, and let's just look at the logic here, okay?
Definitely.
We understand that Maxwell Jacob Friedman is a future star in AEW, and he is going to be one of the major stars in AEW.
Hey, but real quick question, and it's just like a yes or no. Do you think that AEW, or do you think that MJF will get so big that he will, within 6 months, get so much fanfare to where he's like, fuck it, NXT, WWE? Or do you think that he's there for the long haul? You think he's there for the long haul?
I think he's there for the long haul.
Okay.
I definitely feel like he's there for the long haul. But like I was going to say, in defense of AEW here again, we have to understand too now, Aaron, that Hangman Page in particular he does have an AEW championship match coming up with Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah.
And with him having that match with Chris Jericho going into All In or All Out, I should say, you want to have, one of your top contenders looking strong.
Yeah.
So, I can understand because you're a big Maxwell Jacob Friedman fan, as am I as well. But at the same time, I'm smart enough to know that in terms of creative standpoint and in terms of building up Hangman Adam Page as, a potential main eventer, especially if he's got the biggest match of his wrestling career coming up in a few months, you want to build him up and give him a good win, on a I don't want to call it a B plus show, but one of the more secondary shows. You want to make him look good and give him a quality win. So I think that was the case here. With him, winning this match is the fact that he is one of the top contenders for the AEW World Championship against somebody like Chris Jericho. And you want to make him look like a posable threat. Yeah. So I don't mind them, putting Hangman Adam Page over here. But I mean, look at it like this though. Going back to MJF, look at it like this. At least he was the talk of the press conference.
Yeah, he was. But then another quick fucking hit is like, how is a company like AEW, how do they even have like a secondary thing already when they're trying to come up? You know what I'm saying?
Well, my thing is,
how we looked at Fyter Fest is like, Fyter Fest is kind of like, it's kind of a build up type of pay-per-view or whatever, but it's like, shit, they did it for free and whatever. I'm like, so they kind of know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything has to be big for a startup company. Everything has to fucking be big. But like they cocky and they have their shit where like, shit, we're gonna build this one up to do this one. So like already like it's very weird and it is what it is.
And then think about this too. We just came off of Fyter Fest, but now in just a couple of more weeks we're gonna have Fight for the Fallen in Jacksonville. Yeah.
I forgot about that one. But no, yeah. And truthfully, that's what I thought that this one was. Like Fyter Fest, I thought that it was Fight for the Fallen.
And that and if you think about it too, that event is kind of a special event as well because the proceeds from that pay-per-view are going to go to the victims of the shootings that happened in Jacksonville not too long ago.
Yeah, but then a weird thing about that, I guess they went back to like territorial shit. It was like, oh shit, they're having a big show here. Let's fucking go ahead and book a show at the same time. And that's where the WWE got a bunch of slack for that because they're like, okay, they're doing this like a charity show. And then the WWE booked the show around the same area. Oh, it may have not been the same area, but I know the same night. And yeah, like just to kind of compete with it, and it's like, like it's almost like bully tactics that people are like on, but it is what it is. Like, I'm good. Like my thing is, I'm just the fan. I'm the fan of the wrestling, and like y'all, like you know what I'm saying. Like they can do all that bullshit, but like, it's all fair in love and war, or whatever the
there you go
people say. Yeah,
right. But going on through the rest of this Fyter Fest card, you were talking about Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes. Yep. I love this match as well. Really I mean, I loved all the matches on Fyter Fest, but this is one that I loved especially.
Did you like that spot when he fucking landed his fucking back on the fucking hardest part of the ring?
Oh, don't spoil it just yet.
Go ahead. Yeah, that was gross.
Don't spoil it just yet. That's what I was leading up to.
I thought he was fucked up. I thought he died. Like, that's some dying
shit. But yeah, and we're gonna get to what and I'm going to get to what you're talking about there, but I want to talk about the match between Darby Allin and Cody for just a second. But I was really impressed of like how Cody displayed like his physicality in this match against like the smaller Darby Allin. Now, I hadn't heard too much of Darby Allin either, but it's ironic because I was watching this Vice documentary.
The fighters. Yeah, the fighters.
Yeah, the wrestlers. Yes.
Oh, the wrestlers, yeah.
And Darby Allin was featured heavily on that documentary, so that's how, I got to know who he was or whatever.
And shout out to Viceland. Shout out to Viceland for putting out independent fucking professional wrestling. Like, it's dope.
Right.
Real dope.
But like I said, I was really impressed of how Cody displayed his physicality here in the match, playing, the big man role. That's something that we've never seen Cody Rhodes do in a professional wrestling match before. So that was something different to see. But, kudos to Darby Allin for, playing the underdog role to perfection, being the relentless, scrappy, underdog, refusing to stay down and give up and all of that other stuff. Now, you want to talk about spots. There was one particular spot in this match where I thought Darby Allin had completely took himself out.
Yeah.
And that was the spot that they like to call the trust fall in professional wrestling. And that's basically where you basically just do a random dive off the top rope with your back turned to your opponent and hoping that, you'll actually be able to land on them, which is why it's called a trust fall, because you trust that your opponent, kayfabe, is going to be there to catch you when you do your dive, and you won't, just completely hit the concrete and fucking kill yourself. But
break your back.
That's what this crazy ass son of a bitch, Darby Allin, almost did. Because when he hit the hard side of that apron, I was like,
God. I was like, oh yeah, he's dead. Or not dead, but his back's broken, definitely.
Yeah. But hey, shout out to him and his toughness. He was able to finish the match. And I love the fact that they put him over so strong to where it ended in a 60-minute draw.
Yeah, and that's huge for him.
Or I should say a 30-minute draw, not a 60-minute.
Yeah, but like being slick, I think it was 20 minutes, truthfully.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
okay,
it was
20 minutes.
Yeah, but like it was like definitely a good look for him, just for the fact that like shit, you sliding in to this shit. So I'm like, shit, I could see you in a not a beef or a fucking ongoing angle with Cody, but that was a very good introduction to a Darby Allin. And
for real,
yeah, like very good introduction to Darby Allin, and that's what I was saying. But the only thing that I was kind of weird about, I'm like, 5 more minutes. I'm like, and it didn't happen. I'm like, what was the point of that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, if they would have had 5 more minutes, you wouldn't have been able. We wouldn't have been able to get to the spot that you wanted to talk about, which you can go ahead and talk about right now, since we've led up to it now. And that is,
they did do the 5 minutes then. Yeah, never mind. Oh, with fucking what you call it?
Sean Spears.
Yeah, Sean Spears. Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. You wanted to talk about this particular part in the match. So now that we've properly built up to it, you can go ahead and express yourself now.
Good. I'll put it this way. It's definitely good for Sean Spears to put himself over as a heel. But it kind of reminds me, to be totally honest, maybe that's the reason why they put over AJ Styles as a heel. Like it's a lot of similarities, man. Like some similarities of where you wouldn't like kind of correlate them is in the same pot, but the same recipe. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't bring in Sean Spears as a fucking heel. You know what I'm saying? In any wrestling promotion, I wouldn't bring him in as a heel. I'd bring him in as a fucking face, and I'd bring him in as like either the main guy or fucking homie to the main guy type of thing because of his whole fucking thing. But him changing the whole shit up and hitting him with the chair, and like a lot of people even wondering, like, oh shit, well, like, did he really hit him the wrong way with the chair? I think so, truthfully. I think that was like a accident.
Yeah, that was legit.
Yeah, it was
that
an
was
accident.
legit.
Yeah, and he really, like, Cody looked fucked up in the game, to be honest, when they showed it. But
oh yeah, I mean, did you see the back of his head?
Yeah, it was fucked up. It was real fucked up. But no, like, everything's done right, and the only thing that I can say about professional wrestling, WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, all the shit, is this is another thing that I'm going to bring up. It was, I don't know if it was TMZ or not. It was either TMZ or a wrestling platform that asked Stephanie McMahon at the airport, oh, like, what do you think of AEW at the end of the, like, quick interview after she got off the plane? And she said, I think it's a good thing because everyone's going to have to fucking pretty much do the best that they can do or some shit. Like, I forget exactly what she said. But this is what we need in professional wrestling, and I'm so happy for it. And I'm just glad that we can actually, we have options now. How about that? We have options now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing bad about having options.
There's not.
Period.
There isn't. There isn't. I mean, hey, you know, this is something that we never expected would happen in professional wrestling again. But that's why you never say never in the world of professional wrestling, because just like in the WWE, anything can definitely happen.
Yep.
And we probably never imagined, you know, in our wildest of imaginations that, you know, there would be, you know, another war, so to speak, going on.
Yeah, I thought it was over.
Professional wrestling.
Yeah, I thought,
you know,
after WCW, and then, because my thing, ECW never made it to the level of WCW, like real shit. But after WCW, I'm like, there's no one here in the U.S. If you actually like know, New Japan could be bigger than WWE right now. To be honest, as far as like how much money that they have, fucking funded by the Yakuza. But sorry I had to do that. But like, my thing though is like, as far as the United States, the WWE is the biggest wrestling promotion that we will ever have, and that's throughout life. If I live 100 years after this, there will never ever be a bigger promotion in the United States than the WWE. But this is the biggest threat since WCW. And I find it very funny that they hired the president of WCW.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely a method to the madness.
You're gonna finish it off. You finish it off.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a method to the madness. And like I said before, listeners, WWE subtly but steadily paying attention. They're not going to tell us that because their egos won't allow them to tell us that.
They're watching this shit. It's weird.
But trust me, buzz is catching not only around the locker room but in the boardroom as well. Because a few weeks ago, like I said,
hey, Paul Heyman, you're welcome. We helped you. You're welcome. This is the like.
I don't want to say it was.
Nah,
I don't want to say it was. I don't want to say it was us that helped Paul Heyman.
I think so.
You think we had something to do with this?
Bischoff, I think Bischoff definitely. But Paul Heyman was kind of already in there, but it is what it is. But like, Eric Bischoff kind of gave him that fucking like, hey, these niggas are talking crazy. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and re-sign this guy.
Well, you know what? Now that I think about it,
you
probably might be right about that.
And fuck you, Seth Rollins. Yeah.
But Going on though, so we can go ahead and finish up here. The last two matches were, of course, the big 6-man tag with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks taking on the Laredo Kid and Lucha Brothers. It's really not much to say about that match. I mean, when you get the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid all in the same ring, I mean, it's pretty much going to be fireworks, and that's exactly what this was. So, in the end, I did like that they did give Kenny Omega the win here and actually had him win the match with this finishing move, the One-Winged Angel, which is a badass move.
Yeah, I love that move.
He beat the Laredo. He pinned Laredo Kid, which is what a lot of people thought would probably happen, being that you want to protect the Lucha Brothers, that, being that they are, going to be one of your top tag teams in AEW. So that was good to see. So like I said, there's really not much to say about that match. But good. Now going on to the real main event of the whole entire show, which was the non-sanctioned hardcore match between Jon Moxley and the bad boy Joey Janela.
Good, man.
Now, you know what?
Kinda.
I really have to applaud AEW on this because they definitely brought hardcore wrestling back to
the forefront.
Yeah, they definitely brought it back to the forefront Saturday night. And I mean, these guys actually put on a real hardcore match. I'm talking about, we saw barbed wire chairs. We saw barbed wire tables. We saw thumbtacks. We saw Joey Janela damn near kill himself.
Remnants of fucking Japanese, like Japan, like remnants of the fucking what's it called? AJ or AJ, I don't know what the fuck. AJW or not AJW, but like not New Japan Pro Wrestling, but All Japan Pro Wrestling.
But All Japan, AJPW.
Yeah, AJPW. Yeah, like shades of that, and it's dope. It's fire.
Yeah, but we saw everything, that wasn't nailed down in this match. Now I will have to say, there was one particular spot that I've never seen done before, and this shows you how creative Jon Moxley can be when you don't have any creative handcuffs put on him. But I don't think I've ever seen somebody get dropped feet first.
Yeah, like
into a bunch of thumbtacks.
Yeah, but then my thing though is even sell it the where it's like this is probably the thing. And then you, truthfully, I was talking to you then. I was like, I put monies on fucking Atomic drop them. Feet first onto those fucking thumbtacks.
Yeah, I'll be doggone if you didn't predict that, and that's exactly what happened too. Now, mind you, listeners, I don't cringe at a lot of stuff in professional wrestling, but I have to say, after I saw Joey Janela go feet first into those thumbtacks, I straight up cringe.
And but my thing though, it was a good cringe for the fact that it's like a lot of spots that you see are spots that you will never see. But this was a spot to where it's like, shit, you could literally be barefoot or sock on and accidentally fucking step on one of those things. And it was just like, and that's my thing. Like, they're so fucking, it's dope. It is what it is. Like, the more presentable and the more relatable that you make your content, the better that we'll fucking appreciate it and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like it's just weird.
And then what? And then the even sicker part of the match is that Moxley hit the paradigm shift, aka the double arm DDT that was formerly known as the Dirty Deed, on Joey Janela in the thumbtacks.
Yeah,
and pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. And Jon Moxley, as predicted, wins the match. But man,
clean.
Kudos to Joey Janela for taking that atomic drop, whatever you want to call it, feet first, into a bunch of damn thumbtacks.
Yeah.
That guy's hardcore for real.
Shout out to you, Joey Janela. But it is what
man.
it is. Like, it is what
and
it is.
And shout out to John Moxley too for taking that bump into that barbed wire table.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness.
My thing, and that's my thing. That's crazy. That's like a lot of these guys that are going over to there, and like my thing, just how you said that, like it was one of those that they gave us a gift, kind of like, okay, boom, like we're gonna give you a fucking hardcore indie match, cool, but
yeah, they delivered. They delivered. Though.
Like they have people that are in the WWE that's done it before, and they're allowed to do it now, and they did it, and it was fucking easy. It was easy. Like this was probably the easiest match for fucking if you want to call him Dean Ambrose, if you want to call him John Moxley. This was probably the easiest match that he's had in probably damn 5 years. It was probably the easiest one.
Probably so.
Yeah, he probably this was probably like effortless. Like it's crazy, and that is what it is.
Yeah,
it's very
weird. Then the part at the very end where Kenny Omega comes out and basically gets his redemption on John Moxley, just the end the whole entire show. Like that was great. I mean, even the shot of Moxley like maniacally laughing or just having that
while it was being
pulled
back. Yeah, while it was being pulled back. Yeah,
you could tell. You could tell like this is all a part of the build up for All Out.
Yeah,
like that match, I seriously believe that match is going to have some type of hardcore element to it as well.
It's going to have a hardcore element, but at the same time, I think that truthfully, that's going to be like a 30-minute match. It's going to be like one of those matches to where like both sides have to get all their shit off. Like that's going to be like, I'll put it this way: Cody and Dustin were match of the year. Period. Right now.
Right.
I think that this match will be like a heavy contender for a match of the year because I think that like they're just gonna spot after spot because neither one of them are fucking scared.
Well, don't forget, don't overlook that Hangman Page Chris Jericho match now.
Yeah, but
don't overlook that one.
But the thing though with Chris Jericho's, I don't think that he has as much fuck it, let's do it than Kenny Omega. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna be a great match, but I think that Kenny Omega is at his absolute peak right now, and then fucking John Moxley John Moxley is at his absolute like, I want to show these motherfuckers what I could do. So their shit is like almost scary. But then, but Chris Jericho,
you got a good point on that.
Yeah, but Chris Jericho is at the fucking age, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. I just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a great match because Chris Jericho is a great fucking worker. Straight up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, even though it may not seem like, you know, he may not do as much or not do as much as we think he's going to do in that match.
Yeah,
we never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Chris Jericho could probably be looking at all of this of like, okay, everybody's got their attention on the Moxley
shout out
Omega
Chris
match.
Jericho. You could be watching this shit, truthfully. You follow me on Instagram, so shout out to you, man.
Right.
It is what it is.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, Jericho could probably look at this as motivation and be like, okay, well, you know, a lot of people aren't talking about my match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that might fire up Chris Jericho to be like, all right, these people want to sleep on me and Adam Page's match. All right, we gonna turn this motherfucker out.
Yep.
And we gonna have John Moxley and Kenny Omega follow us We're not gonna follow them.
Yep.
We're gonna have them have to follow us.
And that's his whole attitude, truthfully. Like he always wants to fucking outdo everyone. And that's dope, man. My thing, that's why I fuck with Chris Jericho. Like he's
man.
fire. Like,
No doubt about it.
Chris Jericho.
No doubt about it.
Shout out Chris Jericho.
But definitely. One of the greatest of all time. No doubt about it.
Top 10.
But
easy.
right. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That was AEW's Spider Fest or whatnot. For all of you, uptight Nimrods out there, you may not have liked that recap, but we don't give a fuck because this is the Dear Vince podcast, and we recap shit the way we want to recap shit. If you want to listen to a more technical, proper recap of AEW Fighter Fest, go listen to Wade Keller or some shit.
Listen to that shit.
I'm sure he'll be more than
saying?
willing to give you this vanilla cookie cutter type recap. We do shit our way here on DVP.
We do it our way,
okay?
and also another thing and this is a direct shot, but I'm cool with you. But you know what I'm saying? We may even have to talk about it. Buff Bagwell, he started a wrestling podcast, and I'm gonna listen to it, and I'm gonna see how pertinent and how on point that you are with your wrestling podcast. But you're about 45 minutes away. So, Buff, Marcus Alexander Bagwell. I just want to ask you.
Government name.
Yeah, I just want to ask you. Are you willing to jump on the podcast? If not, cool. Do you want to get on the it is what it is. My thing is, we are solidifying ourselves as the best podcast in the United States. And that's exactly what we already are. It's so easy. But, Buff.
There it is.
I want to talk to you about in no disrespect, but the mother situation. Why aren't you at least a mid-card in the WWE right now? Fuck the bullshit, Buff. I'm talking to you. Dear Vince Podcast. You know what? Dear Vince Podcast. Tell Vince what the fuck you think about how you were handled. Let me know. Let me know.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker keep calling me. Who is this?
Uh-oh.
We're going to go ahead and end the shit. Oh, shit.
Alrighty.
Yo, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, man. We're gonna go ahead and end the bitch. Like, damn, I'm getting like funk. You hear this shit? God damn. So there will be an edit. You there? Yo, you there?
Oh, damn it. Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and end the shit. I keep getting like fucking mad phone calls now. That's weird. It's my homeboy from goddamn Cali, so it's like fucking 11 o'clock his time. But anyway, we gonna go ahead and end this fucking podcast, episode 6, Dear Vince Podcast.
It's getting late over in the night, and the Aaron Gordon fan club now wants his attention.
3:50, 3:50 a.m.
Right, and now they want to call. Now the fan club wants to call. They couldn't call the first half of the show. Now they want to call the second half of the show.
Like now.
Like right now, while we're trying to wrap this shit up. But I mean, hey, like you said, that's what happens when you're one of the hottest wrestling podcasts on the block right now. Everybody wants your attention.
On the block and definitely in the state. Do you hear that? Oh my God, what up?
Okay, all right, yeah, all right. It's definitely closing time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, because now even our
Holy
phones
shit.
are saying, like, okay, go ahead and wrap this shit up. You guys have been talking about wrestling all fucking night long. It's the 4th of July. Go ahead and wrap it up. Okay.
We're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Right. So this has been the Dear Vince Podcast, episode 6. Beer Drink Shawty, Aaron Gordon, the Wrestling Mastermind, George Kennebrew. We just kicked ass and took names and said that Seth Rollins is a bitch.
Fuck you.
And that,
Fuck you, Seth.
Becky Lynch is not the man and she doesn't have a dick. So go fuck off and stop trying to think that you're something that you're really not. And I know that was
on the 4th of
backwards
July.
as fuck, but whatever.
Fuck you,
Whatever.
Becky. Fuck you, Becky Lynch. Fuck you, Seth Rollins. I'm going to look up more of these videos of you, fucking Tyler Black, you fucking piece. Like, it is what it is. Do what you do, but don't try to act machismo ever again. Becky will slap the shit out of you, you fucking idiot. Becky will slap the shit out of you.
And you know she will, and she'll make you get into that sweet ass push-up position too while she's at it.
Very weird. Very weird. It is what it is. What ain't what's gonna be. DVP, Dear